Patterson. We are at the 13th annual St. Louis Prototype Modelers Meet. I'm doing an outdoor photo shoot. We're going to talk about this table saw. That's absolutely magnificent. This is the best hobby in the world.
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat starts now.
Catch the What's Neat podcast every week and full episodes of What's Neat every month at the Model Railroad Hobbyist YouTube page.
Yeah.
Look at all the people here today.
We are set.
Shining happy people.
All right, quiet on the set. Cell phone silence.
All right.
All right, boys and girls.
Ready?
Who we got today? Richard is running camera.
Richard is here and
I see Austin. All right.
Yeah.
Is all the sound set up?
Security's in the house. Yeah.
Oh,
It should be here.
What's neat security is here
He's
tonight.
6 and 5's off.
Let me hear everybody talk.
Check one.
Go ahead, Daniel. Say something.
Talk.
Let me hear you.
Talk.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hi.
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 Bye. What?
Hi.
Oh.
All right.
Slow start tonight, but what a wonderful day.
Yay. We have everything here and present and accounted for.
All right, Richard, give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Jelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at jelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 271 for April 13th, 2024. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And boy, did George provide us with some amazing material this month on how to make roads.
I agree.
I've shown how I make roads, so I thought, okay, this is how you make roads. No, George came up with all kinds of other different ways to get from point A to point B that I didn't know existed. What a surprise. And that will be running in the Maze What's Neat video, which will be done Monday.
Did any of them involve the General Lee jumping stuff?
No. I know, James is here. All right, let's see who's here tonight. Sitting all the way over here, we've got Daniel Coombs.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Daniel. I've got Denny Jelsma from beautiful Jacksonville, Florida.
Hello.
Jelsma Graphics. Hey, Denny. You brought the sunshine up here with you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew that we'd do that. I am, of course, your host, Ken Patterson. I already did that. I've got Joshua Barton sitting next to me right here. And last but not least, James Regier,
Hey, everybody.
who brought the fire truck tonight, which is painted.
And looks
With a bell.
good.
So starting right out, great week, great weather this week, and something fresh, brand new in the hobby shops this week are the brand new Siemens Venture passenger cars from Bachmann Industries in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is the Amtrak Midwest paint scheme that I am showing you. I've got coaches, 4 of them, and yes, they all have 4 different numbers on them. And they're absolutely beautiful running and in outdoor sunlight. These are lit exactly like the Via train that we showed a couple of weeks ago. So they look fantastic when they're running at night. Also on the roof is a neat feature, new to Bachmann, and there's a little air vent on top, and if you pull it off, as I'm showing you in these photos, underneath are 2 micro switches, and you can turn on and off the marker lights on the end of each car independently.
Very cool.
So that was some very neat idea.
That's a neat feature because you don't always want to run them the same.
Yeah,
Absolutely beautiful. I've been using a lot of prototype photos to set up a consist down here in the basement of the current Amtrak with these cars mixed in. Scott Nauert, thank you.
What a beautiful.
Scott Nauert.
Beautiful.
I want you on this show, and I know we've talked about it, and you said you will be. Scott Nauert is an individual that is a prolific photographer. Right?
Yep.
I would put him on the same page as Joe McMillan
Oh, yeah. I agree.
with regards to composition and setup, photo setup. He takes his time. His photography is amazing. And he'll go to 7 different locations in a day, right? And he shoots all week here in St. Louis, as far as I can see on Facebook.
Yeah.
So what he's doing is he's showing us everything that's going on here in St. Louis in vivid color. So I don't have to rail fan. I can stay home and put these Amtrak cars in the right position of what an Amtrak ran yesterday. I'm showing you the picture of that. I know these 2 baggage cars. I got one of those from Cotto. They're beautiful. But what really hit me with looking at this train on the layout, and I'm not hogging the show, I want you guys to interject, was this reminds me of Amtrak when Amtrak started out, mid-'70s, when you saw the various different color schemes with a few Amtrak schemes and this and that. Because I've got the Amtrak Mid-America. I was running it with the current paint scheme. We got Am coaches, and we got Horizon cars from Rapido and or Wathers.
Yeah.
And when you see all those together, it's a hodgepodge with a brand new beautiful engine on it. None of the paint matches. So eventually it will match, I imagine. But right now is a classic time to model.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. These cars are just amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was excited about that when they came out this week.
Very well detailed too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw some of them in Amherst. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
Spring Creek Model Trains is your go-to source for these cars.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Spring Creek and the folks out there
Yeah.
for helping us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so where do we go from here? Let's go to Denny, because you know what, Denny, you got into town here, and we went right over to Dupo. It would have been nice to run into Scott Nauert over there. You would have been impressed with him. I met him one time down here in the backyard below the bluff shooting trains. Anyway, we saw this amazing, we paced a train. Usually I go to Dupo and you don't get to see a train because Denny was with me. The train gods made it happen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I demanded that.
And this was a cool train.
I like that.
Let me explain.
Denny spoke and it was so.
We didn't break any laws shooting this video, but we paced the train, as you can see. And the stoplight turned red just at the right time for us to stop, get the grade crossing, as you see in here. And then the light turned green. We started pacing it again. There was nobody behind us for 3 miles. So we were able to just cruise along and get this cool video of the various colors of stack cars, Denny.
Yeah, they're all different UP hub and it was just I mean, a rail fan's dream.
Oh, that sounds neat.
I love trains.
Yeah.
It was neat.
Yeah. Speaking of trains, that's a really neat train that you got running tonight.
Oh yeah, that's a reefer train.
Yeah.
It's long too.
It's been in
Yeah.
the drawer. Last time I ran, it's been in the drawer for at least 5 years. Pulled it out last night. We pulled it out last night, some of it. Denny and I did. And couldn't believe how filthy it was on top. There's a mix. These are mostly all Intermountain cars. Mix of various paint schemes from the same era.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful cars.
Yeah.
And they're behind a 4,000 class Mikado, built by Broadway Limited a couple of years ago. And on the caboose, or on the tail of the train, is an Intermountain caboose with a wigwag signal that they also produced a couple of years ago.
Ooh, how much do you want for that?
We'll talk
I think
after
it's
the
actually
show.
part of my dad's collection, so not mine to sell.
So how many cars are on this consist here? Do we know? About 50?
I didn't count. I actually don't know how many trains, cars.
Well,
are
that's
in
for
it.
all you viewers
Yeah.
at home to count.
This
Yeah.
train
Let us
ran.
know
I think
next week.
this train ran on the Midwest Valley Modelers layout. It
Yeah.
did. So this train's pretty old. This train goes back to 1991 probably.
It's paced at about 21 mile an hour, and when I when I took video of it earlier, it was about 1:09 to
Look
pass.
at that caboose.
Oh, wow, you're watching the video right there.
I'm
That's
watching-
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't that neat?
Oh, I'm going to watch. Do I
Well,
have
no,
here?
no, we have a show to do.
Oh, okay.
We'll watch
Denny,
it.
we'll
we
watch
were
it later.
we were talking to Denny. Then we went over to Illinois. We found Steve Mantilla helping set up for a train show
Nice.
that was going
He's
on.
in the audience
Yes.
tonight. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Oh, Steve, we got the video clip of you here lifting tables over that show that
nice.
Dirk was putting on in Dupo. Which, how was that show? Was that a success?
It was a success. Yes, it was
Good.
a very
Right.
good show. We enjoyed ourselves.
Very nice.
That was held at a VFW hall.
Yes.
And that's just exactly the type show, the type of venues that we're out to help promote.
It was.
I mean, sure, big ones too,
Absolutely.
but you'd be surprised the effect you might get.
Couple hundred people there. I mean, there was 40 or 50 tables, I'd say, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a
Pro-
decent show,
probably-
pretty decent size.
Probably about 30 vendors or so.
And I was able to sell to vendors some specialized shirts.
Nice.
And
nice.
so
Nice.
I walked in and they knew me, and I was
Wow.
shocked. And they knew me because of What's Neat.
Oh, you're that guy that was on What's
Oh,
Neat.
you're the guy on that
you're the
show.
guy.
You and
yeah.
Steve.
The guy,
The
yeah.
other
Yes.
guy. From the
Oh,
other
yeah.
guy.
And
Famous people.
so the famous people.
yeah.
And so
Yes.
that was really very exciting.
That's very cool. So you've been on the show for 5 years?
So yes.
So you've seen an
God, has it
uptick.
been that long already?
Yeah, it sure has. And I'm assuming that the What's Neat show has spread your name leaps and bounds as far as before.
Well, absolutely. And I am so
I like
enthused
this. That fits.
about What's Neat this week because one of the marketing strategies that we wanted to do at Jelsma Graphics was that when you think about What's Neat, you're going to think about Jelsma
Absolutely.
Graphics. And so one of the things that we have is that we hand out and Ken hands out is a brochure that says, What's Neat. Now, on the other side, I have my advertisement.
Absolutely.
And so when I hand this out at shows, they'll see this and then they'll say, oh yeah, we've seen you on What's Neat. And so during the pandemic, Ken saved us. And because, we weren't allowed to get out. And all I could say is when you think of What's Neat, I know that people think of Jelsma Graphics, the embroidery guy. They, especially now, lately with the Broadway, if you want to see any brand new trains, you're going to go to What's Neat because you're going to see
Absolutely.
Ken's
That's right.
focusing in on,
yeah,
on the
the
trains.
Vita picture.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, all
And
that
so-
specialized stuff that we do here.
And then you have the, the Skype. You've done some Skypes with me, and it's just that we get to interact with the customer in his house.
Well, it's easy for us because your product is so beautiful and well done and
Yes.
well maintained. And I mean, wear and tear, there is no wear and tear with this stuff.
No.
I mean, it's beautiful. We run it through the mud every day
yeah.
stuff.
I don't paint in it.
Well, no, but I mean, it's really great and it's really a strong product to put out
Well,
there.
all we say is all the time is thank you, Ken Patterson and the crew. And what's so neat is when we go to train shows, we're treated like rock stars. And gosh, we're not used to that.
Right,
And they always are asking, hey, what about James? What about Josh?
Where are they?
And what about
We're usually at
Daniel?
work.
What about Steve and the different regulars? They want to know about you guys. And
Wow.
I just think that's so neat.
Well-
They never ask about me. Always about Ken Patterson.
Well, they ask us about you, so feel good.
I'm like, why does Ken never leave his basement?
That's right. Ever.
Who knows?
Ever.
No, that's not true. I left the basement. I've been out of this house.
You have. You came over to my house. You came
Yeah,
into
you
my
even made it to
basement.
Dupo. So.
It's a misnomer that I don't get out. I
Yeah.
cut down trees this week. I've been outside all week.
He's a lumberjack. He's okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, back to work. Where do you want to go after that? Last week we were running to California Zephyr on the layout. We didn't get a chance to talk about or explain that train, but of course that was a very beautiful train that Denny knows the history of. We all do, actually. We've all
Yeah.
read the books.
Yeah, what was running was actually the 1947 version because we had the Burlington F3s, which they ran about a year and a half before the Burlington went to the E's, made the decision. The rest of the other two railroads through the mountains, the F units had better pulling power, and but on the flats, the E's just could hit that 80, 90 miles an hour. And you know, speaking, they would run that train across parts of Iowa and Nebraska. Sometimes they'd hit 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
And I've got an app on my phone, and I was showing Ken today about Amtrak, and I just hit, and I can tell you how fast the train is, where it is, if it was on time.
Oh, yes.
And on the Illinois Central north-south, I got a train going, 104 miles an hour.
Yeah. He was sitting over there in the red chair telling me where every Amtrak train was at 11 o'clock this morning,
I gotta
and
check
how
that
fast
app
each
out.
one was going.
What?
And that's amazing. That's amazing
The
technology.
The technology is just absolutely
God, with the train
amazing.
robbers back in the 1850s wouldn't have gave up for that technology to know when that train was going to go through that mountain range desert, the middle of
Jesse
nowhere.
James and the
And
Younger
the
Brothers,
Indians.
boy.
Hey, Ken, I hate to cut this.
Back to the Future.
Hey, listen, I gotta use the restroom real quick.
You usually just get up and go.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Did I just do an edit there?
Yeah, you sure
I don't
did.
know what I just did. Let
sure
it roll.
did. Okay.
Let it roll.
Oh, gosh.
That's a first.
Yeah.
I'll just bring it back.
Okay, we keep doing this show now. Look, I figure it like this: we do this show for another, say, 20 years. We're going to be sitting here in wheelchairs. It depends.
Depends on if we make it or not.
Should we just go right into James? And
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So James, tell me about this fire engine that you have here.
Well, so yeah, this is the same model as well. It's a reprint, but I painted it all up, and it doesn't have any decals on it. At some point, I might order some decals or print some myself. But here it is in all its glory in red with black and gold trim.
so
Richard, are you getting that? Because that's beautiful.
it is. I have a question. So when you paint it, is it all disassembled and you spray paint it?
Yeah, I actually brush painted it before assembly. But yes, that's especially with all the different detail parts, between the cab and the truck bed.
Yeah, the ladder. And all
the
those.
ladder and the pumper. You just kind of have to paint them separately if you're going to paint them at all. And especially because there's red and gold on the pumper, and some of those parts are just absolutely tiny. There'd be no way you could reach the brush in there.
Does this have the brass bell?
It does. Yeah, on the front there.
Oh, very
Let him
neat.
get it on camera. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll
So,
B-roll this, Richard. I'll get some close-ups of the
so
whole
is
thing.
this going to be another item that you're going to have for sale with your 3D printing company?
Yes. In fact, I'll make it available. The only I'm still trying to figure out the pricing for it. I'm also trying to figure out if it might make more sense, or it might make sense to offer a ready painted model, because there are a lot of parts to this.
Sure.
One of the questions, of course, to doing the finished model is it is resin, and the supports actually serve as a protective roll for shipping for it.
Right.
But yes, I absolutely do plan on making that available once those final kinks are worked out.
I can't believe how you have gained so much momentum in the 3D process since your infancy of starting the little things that you were doing, using G&L robotic stuff into what you're here to now. I mean, it's just amazing in the few years that you've been toying with this.
Yeah.
Well,
And it seems like it's getting just easier and easier, too.
and look what he did with my GE that he's almost finished.
He is
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
finished with
And
it.
he
I
took
don't
this
think he's
shell.
almost finished.
Yeah,
Wishful
it's
thinking,
coming
right?
along, but yeah.
Yeah, he took the shell and then added all these extras that I'm really into. And wow, that's all you could say is wow.
Right.
And look at the technology that's just surpassed itself. Now they have multiple color resins that will come at the same time to make different colors.
Although the qualifier with that is those machines and that resin that comes in the multiple colors is still in the category that if you have to ask how much it is, you probably can't afford it.
Right, well, that's its infancy. Just like VHS players were $1,000 when they came out in the late 70s, and then DVD players were $1,000 when they came out in the early 90s. Same thing, you know.
I'd be interested to see how that actually works, though, because one of the drawbacks, we've had molded plastic for years. That you know, you got a kit from, you know, even the old Atlas train station kits, you know, came in multiple colors of plastic. The problem is that colored material doesn't quite look like the painted material or the stuff that you'd find in the real world. That you still have to paint it anyway. Okay. And so that would be one of my thoughts with the resin. That unless and again, I'd have to see the developed technology and see how it progresses, but how it would compare.
Yeah,
that is so true.
I agree. I'd like to just take a few minutes because I'm just so excited about what's neat. I'm just.
Are you talking about what's neat again?
Yes, I got to talk about what's neat.
Isn't that what the whole show's about?
I want to give a shout out as Josh says is to Pastor Chuck.
Snaps.
Oh yeah.
And guess what he did?
Oh, we got video of this.
Yeah. And Pastor.
I want to eat some, and they won't let me eat it on the show.
Not on the show.
Yeah,
not on the show.
Wait till after. Good grief, it's still there.
It's in the green room.
But Pastor Chuck is a pastor in Pella, Iowa, my hometown in the cornfields of Iowa.
That's right.
And he mentors young, troubled kids. And he has a railroad club. I made him some shirts, and he likes this show, and he likes all the people. He asks how everybody is. And he prays for you guys, and he's just a great guy. And he sent us the Jelsma bakeries,
Chuck.
and so. Pastor Chuck, hey, we love you.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for bringing us into your home.
Yes.
We appreciate you very much, and the pastries are amazing.
And then out today on our grand tour that you guys took me on, I have two guys in our club that are from the Illinois area. Over there. One is from Cahokia, or Cahokia, I'm saying it wrong.
Cahokia.
And,
Cahokia.
and then another one is from Edwardsville. Well, actually, his father was, and his father went to work for the railroad as an accountant or something, and then he moved to Florida and worked, and he was the head Fred agent for Florida East Coast, and he was part of the executive committee, and then his name is Phil. We call him Cardinal Phil because of the St. Louis Cardinals, and he likes that. And he's an executive with a large insurance company. And then for the Cahokia guy, he is Andrew. He's our youngest guy in our club. And so I just want to say, hi, guys. I love you.
Hi, guys. Thanks for watching.
It's a cool club. It's a nice
And
layout.
and then I want to say thank you, Randy Hook.
Yes.
Yes, we
He's
love
awesome.
Randy.
Yes.
And
This is an angel that came from nowhere.
he's got to be the 8th archangel.
Yes, I know.
And Randy built my website. He just took it to a whole new level. One of the things that we in model railroading have to do, and sometimes we don't like it, but we have to keep up with the technology.
Absolutely.
And if we don't, the world's going to pass. And especially old guys like me, we like some of the old stuff, but you can't go to the doctor unless you got a smartphone.
Right. Yeah.
And so Randy just took us to a new level. So you go to my website, Jelsma.com, Randy Hook.
Nice.
And what's great about him, he is a Dutchman.
Ah, very
And
nice.
he just makes it just a little bit better.
I love that Pella bologna.
I know. I want the pastries.
So you have some new prints that you have here. Let's talk
Oh,
about
the
some
photos.
of those.
Yes.
I really
You
want to
brought
get
pictures,
into
'cause
this.
after the pictures, I want to hear about the passenger cars that are sitting on the table that are gorgeous.
Yeah.
We'll get to
We've
those.
got some cool new logos.
Okay, now, Jelsma Graphics, as you all know, we do embroidery. We do special embroidery. We do
Right.
the hats. We do jackets, and I'm constantly coming out with new designs. And people say, well, how do you get all these new designs? It's from you. You'll say, hey, do you have this railroad, or do you have this in a particular railroad? And we'll make it for you. And right now we have 1,535 logos.
Wow.
And some are for the shirts, some are for jacket backs. And but our latest logo is the PAs of the Union Pacific. And you know, Union
that's nice.
Pacific is one of
That's
my favorite
beautiful.
railroads.
Yeah, I own a couple of these trains.
And this particular logo, it just came out. It's really gorgeous. And so, if you like the PAs, hey, put it on a jacket back.
Yeah.
And and here it is. It's on the website. And then I have gotten so many new clubs because of what's
Yeah.
neat. And that's why I get so excited, because and the MCP Railway is a club in New Hampshire and in the New England, and we
Yeah.
made this particular logo for them.
Yep.
And it was a custom. And when you see a particular logo you want, just send me a picture. I don't care what condition it is, just send it. We'll clean it up, we'll fix it. And naturally, the cleaner the art, the better it is for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then somebody asked me, do I have a 1976 Santa Fe in the Centennial?
Well, of course you
coach?
do, Danny.
Yeah.
And so we just came out with that, and that
beautiful.
just
Very
really
nice.
turned out
76, yeah.
gorgeous. And then we come back. We have another PA in New Haven in the orange, and the New Haven had a lot of PAs.
Oh, yeah.
And then somebody wanted a New York Central Electric that they ran from the Grand Central up to Harlem, New York.
That's nice, yes.
And so we made that particular logo.
The lightning strike is, or the lightning stripe is really appropriate on that one, especially.
Absolutely. And they kept their trains really pure, and that's what was so exciting. And then I got a call that they saw me on the What's Neat show, and this was the Pikes Peak End Scalers.
Oh, very
And,
cool.
and
Nice.
I want to say hi to Deb. And Deb and I, hey Deb, and she's from Colorado, and she is involved with the Pikes Peak End Scalers, and she sent me some artwork, and it was probably the cleanest, best artwork that I've ever
That's
received.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And she says that her
mountains in the
sister
back
is a
there.
graphic artist, and I was just so impressed. And so I'm so glad that we're going to do that particular. We're going to do jackets, and we have denim shirts and golf shirts, and she was just such a joy to talk to. So Deb, we love you.
It actually looks like Pikes Peak in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was noticing that.
And,
Thank you very much, Deb.
And then the next one, somebody sent me a poster of the New York Central, and they said, hey, can you do this? And I looked at it, well, yeah, I could do it, but it's going to be a lot of stitches. And this is about 250,000 stitches. But, it's the Tops in Travel and Comfort, and it was a travel poster. And on the back of the jacket, it's just absolutely just gorgeous.
Oh, I
mean,
bet.
really. And then, lo and behold, I get a call from one of our buddies on this show, and who was that?
Campbell.
That's a good show. Yeah.
And hi, Campbell, we love you. And Campbell Rice is in the fire business, and he also was promoted to be the fire chief of
Congratulations.
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
Union City. Congratulations.
I called him and left him a message.
Good.
Congratulations.
And so we love you. We miss you. We just, I've met so many nice people. I've even met Josh, and he's pretty nice.
He did, I heard.
And
Really?
My first interaction back in Kansas City in 2017, was it?
yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
and so, it's just such a thrill. And when I left, the last thing my wife, she says, enjoy being with your buddies. I know you like that.
Right. We're going to torture them.
And
Just
and
a little
so
bit.
Martha, I am having a good
Jeez.
time, and I thank you for letting me go. And so then I get a call, and the guy says, well, we're a little club in Iowa. And I says, Iowa? Well, man, I perk up because I'm from the cornfields of Iowa.
Right.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, it's the North Central from Hampton, Iowa, and that was on the north-south line to Minneapolis to Des Moines on the Rock Island. And so they sent me artwork, and here again, they sent me some really nice artwork, and we're putting that on some shirts, and that really turned out really
Pretty nice.
really good.
Yeah.
And then a guy once again saw us on the Ken Patterson What's Neat show,
Yeah.
and
I've got to watch that show.
I know.
yeah, you got to watch that
It's like on
show.
my
Do I have
notifications.
to
I don't know who it
leave the
is.
Yeah,
I would think
And-
so. I
and
think
It's on
just-
YouTube?
yeah.
and-
Check that out.
and he says,
fact-
"Hey, we watch you on the What's Neat, and it's the New Orleans Public Beltway Railroad."
Oh,
Okay.
very
And one of the things he says, now, do you have permission to use all these logos? Well, folks, we do. We have to get a license from all these railroads, and the railroads went through a real phase of making sure that vendors like myself have the authority to use their logos. And I never fought that. I agree with that. They own it. They spend a lot of money designing it, and what they want to do is have the integrity and keep that.
Absolutely. I
And,
wouldn't expect anything less.
And I'll never forget. This is quite a few years ago. CSX decided that they wanted. Well, UP started it, but anyhow, CSX sent everybody that they could find on the internet that made any kind of logos, whether it was on a model or a T-shirt or anything, and they automatically sent you a cease and desist letter. And I got a letter, and the was from the corporate office in Jacksonville, and that's where I live, in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
And so the gal.
Walked right up there, and he told them, "I'm going to use your logo."
And so she apologized for being so hard on the letter, and I said, I totally understand, because I came out of the corporate world, that's what we did. And I said, well, what logos can I use? And she says, well, there is a company that makes for the Historical Society, and all of their logos are exact, so whatever they have, you will have the authorization. And I said, okay, well, you give me that name. And she says, it's JELSMA.com. And I says, Mrs. Rainwhite, that's me. Oh, how embarrassing.
Wow.
And I says, but don't worry, I will not send you a cease and desist letter. So let's talk about the royalties.
Nice. Wow.
So for you people, we do make sure that we have authorization. We put that on our website. We've been a long time UP authorized embroiderer. So that's what we have for the latest logos
That's neat.
that we have for this particular month. And
Plus, they get to meet Mr. Jelsma himself.
That's right.
what can
You're
I say?
that guy on What's Neat.
That's right.
I've seen you on
That's
that
right.
show. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I wanna-
Every April he's been on. You know
I
that for
know,
years.
I know. It's a common occurrence, we know.
Let's
Brass?
passenger cars.
Brass
You need to talk
Yeah.
about these cars. We shot them outside. We got still photos,
Yeah.
and they just go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brass, Denny Jelsma.
This car right here, this is a Seaboard coach yard out of Pasadena, California, owned by Fred Hill and Dave.
Fred, hey Fred.
Hey, Fred. And so this is, Fred really didn't do a lot of southeast railroads, and so they did, and they didn't have that many reservations. They just had enough reservations to produce this car. And I'm a coach yard dealer. I've been with Fred for 30 years or more. And so they came out and the list price on them, it just was, sticker shock.
Right.
And it was amazing. But when we got the cars, we were just like, wow.
They're fantastic.
And it was just unbelievable. Well, anyhow, long story short, on the Seaboard cars, they sold out almost instantly.
Okay.
And I bought the last of the run. I myself, Jelsma Graphics, we sold 47 cars. And I have 2 left.
And those are $1,000 a piece, right?
$925.
Okay.
And plus shipping. And I've got 2 left, and so if
They're
you want them,
beautiful.
They are.
send me an email. What I got is a Pullman Standard coach. What you see here,
right.
they're just absolute. It's just like you walked into the train itself. We just took the real train and made it a miniature, and also. A lot of people are wanting Seaboard Coastline. Fred has that advertising. I talked to him today, texting, and he will run the Seaboard Coastline if we get enough orders.
Okay.
And so what you got to do is call me up and say, hey, I want. I'm not, just call up, say, hey, I want this. Go on his website, you can see, and order. And if he doesn't, they're not going to run it. Now, he's running the Southern Crescent. He does have enough orders to manufacture the Southern Crescent. He's doing them in 2 eras, in the 50s and then the later era. If you want any of those cars, send me a text or call me up and look at the Coachyard website and call, and I'll reserve a car for you. And so when you reserve a car, you got to take it. That's just the bottom line.
Yep.
And they go. And like I say, I have 2 if you want them. Email me right away. And then they're coming out with the CSX business train. And here again, if they don't have enough orders, they're not going to make them.
Right.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. And
It's
then,
built to order scenario.
yeah, and Ken and I, Ken took pictures outside and then inside. I said, wait till you see the lighting and how.
Let's go over that for a minute now. Beautiful day. Denny's here. I ran some video actually just to show all the ambience of the beauty out there because the weather's been fantastic since you've shown up.
Yeah.
And
Well,
sure enough, we've got both of these cars out there on the table, and I videotaped the silver one. I'm going to chop up this video so I can run these clips in order. And the silver one, the plating on it, the interior, you could see through the glass. I showed Landon in the video, and he was commenting about the seat colors inside of the freight car, sitting next to me down here watching it. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The nighttime thing of this is like what Rapido's doing. It's got the scale lighting in it. And in this case, I'm videotaping the lamp shades, the actual lamps that are inside of the car. Absolutely
Are providing the light.
exquisite. It was a scale light. So when the lights are off in the room, it looks amazing. The other car you got, Denny, is called a...
Okay, this here is just a standard Walters heavyweight.
Okay.
They've been out for, 10 years or more.
Sure.
And, we as modelers go through different stages. And I just took this simple car and I super detailed it.
Yes, you did.
And I put Venetian blinds, and a lot of people say, hey, where do you get your blinds? I get it from Circus Decal out of Baraboo,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. And I put the blinds in it, and according to the railroad. Then Fred Hill has of Coachyard, he sells, and also the Circus decals for the table. So I have table settings. I have plates, and I have forks and knives.
He does.
And then I have people eating. I have a maitre d' or the steward, and then I put a complete kitchen crew in.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I painted the inside stainless steel.
Uh-huh.
And so I have a complete kitchen crew, and
I have video of
and
it.
then I painted the couplers rust, and just added, and it just made this model
It really brings them to life.
really,
It's
you know,
amazing. It's amazing all the detail that you stuffed in there.
and so, you know, at our club, there's no such thing as a ready-to-run car. I mean, you've got to tweak these cars.
Sure.
And if you tweak them, they'll run and you'll have a good time. And the whole
Yeah.
thing about this hobby is that you want to have a good time.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more aggravating than to get this brand new engine or a car and it just keeps derailing.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not a bad car, it just needs to be adjusted.
Yeah.
And you got to spend time doing that. And when you add a lot of this detail, you will do that. And they'll run and run and run and run and run.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Going around the table, have we covered everything tonight?
Yeah,
think so.
Well, there's
There's
one.
you and there's Daniel still here, and I haven't heard him talk or you very much.
Well,
Has he talked?
No.
well, so aside from the fire truck, I brought
Yes.
these two boxcars here.
Two boxcars.
This one is labeled for Mennonite Central Committee, and this was built by. These were based off of. Yeah. So after the Second World War, there were a lot of aid agencies
Okay.
that went over to Europe to help rebuild, to restart agriculture and that sort of thing. One of the agencies that went over was the Mennonite Central Committee, and they brought food aid. They helped. There were aid efforts to Poland to help get Polish farmers restarted after the war as well. As well as food and clothing that people donated to send over, and to this day they're so engaged in that sort of distributive effort. The country of France actually made boxcars, thank you boxcars that they would send to various cities around the United States for display that would have all these aid agencies listed. And then I can't remember what the company was, but they took up and they made individual boxcars in model for each of these different aid agencies. This one for Mennonite Central Committee had a particular family importance for me and my dad, just because he served with MCC in Africa during the 1960s as a teacher. My grandparents actually served as part of the post-war relief efforts and actually adopted him as an orphan and brought him over to the United States at that point. So we saw in Model Railroader in the 1980s this MCC car, and Dad had wanted a model of it. And he even sent a couple Intermountain models to somebody in Texas who had made them. We never got them back, and I'm not sure what happened with them. But fast forward a number of years, I found this car in a train show, and then we bought a few Katy cars, and I made up graphics for them as if they were
cool.
repainted Santa Fe box cars and that sort of thing with updated logos and all that. So I just wanted to share that because this weekend was the Kansas MCC Relief Sale in Hutchinson, and they'll be going on throughout the summer and fall. If you want a quilt, they're an excellent place to bid on an Amish or Mennonite-made quilt. So,
Very cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Daniel, what are these cars that are on the table here?
Okay, so yeah, obviously I'm back. But anyways, these two have been been trying to show these off for 3 weeks, but you know, there's stuff happening here, so I get that. But this is from my buddy Joey G at Touch the Brush Model Weathering. Hey Joey, and hey his other buddies.
Hi, Joey.
Those are looking
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he basically, the covered hopper, I did the graffiti, the block, so to speak, just a basic way to do like Sharpie marker and just putting some random graffiti. But Joey has put his weathering, not bedazzle, but what do you want to call it? Weathering touch to it, so to speak.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Signature.
All of this
Yeah.
is
EDM
oils,
card.
Yes.
acrylics. There's
Yeah.
no airbrushing whatsoever. He says that he's against. I'm not saying he's against it, but he just prefers to do oil paints and acrylics
Sure.
first. So
Yeah.
he thus has found prototype photos of an ADM covered hopper, and yeah, basically weathered it all up like it's all grimed and whatnot. It's got new blue roller bearing caps, signifying that the trucks had been replaced at one point at a rail car shop. And then moving on, we got a UP air slide 2-bay hopper, and these were used, I think, in the 60s into the 70s.
Nice.
A lot of corn, grain, wheat sort of deal. And of course, he has also put his weathering touch to it. So basically, what's happening is he's trading me for some locomotive repairs, and thus he is returning my payment in weathering cars. So these are the first two out of the whole batch.
Joey, you do amazing
He
work.
does.
I love to
Phenomenal.
see what you have next for us. So.
Yes, he's always got projects cooking, but
Yeah.
stay tuned because we got a big one coming up.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
I have one more thing. You're not going to
Okay.
One more thing.
One more. You remember?
One more.
You remember the famous judge from Guthrie, Oklahoma? Remember, we've always and it's Judge Larry Brooks,
Okay.
and I think he's on his 13th or 15th jacket that we made.
Oh.
and
Wow.
and I just want to say, hi, Judge. We love you. Keep ordering.
Thanks for watching.
Yes,
And
thank
thanks
you.
for watching.
Yeah.
And his mission in life, when I first met him, is to, in Guthrie, Oklahoma. There's the Jelsma football stadium, and you took B-roll of that.
Yeah.
And his mission in life now is to convince everybody in Guthrie, Oklahoma, that it's not Jelsma, it's Jelsma.
That's right.
So anyhow, and then we are now on our 39th year at Jelsma Graphics.
Wow.
In October 15th of 1985, I went to my first train show. That's almost 40 years.
Wow.
And I look at the vendors and the different people, and Ken and I talk about the different owners of from Broadway to you name it, and it just it just seemed like yesterday, but almost 40 years of making these things. And
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
you
Oh, yeah.
people have been great. You've been great supporters of Ken, been great supporters of me, and I just say thank you. I really appreciate you people. It's just so overwhelming. That's what I have to say.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
I love
Everybody,
that too.
give Denny a.
Thanks for coming,
Thank
Denny.
you.
Love it.
Austin loves you. I know he does. Austin, yeah. Rock and roll. All right, so this is what we're going to do now. We are going to take our NCE power cap.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to give Denny the little one. I actually gave this one to him yesterday to use. And we're going to go run some trains. And the reason that I like this, and you got to check out their website because there's a lot of other neat product on there. But the fact is that this thing works. It's bulletproof. The one that you had the other day that was all beat up still looked cool as hell. That was neat, Josh. But check it out. If you guys are in the market for a DCC system, I'm very happy with the performance of that. It works.
I'm going to run some Blue
Makes
Nami
it work.
tonight.
Oh, and you can do that with it too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, through JMRI.
No.
Run Wi-Fi with your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the NCE system. All right, guys, best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it, sitting all around me right here at the table. Denny, thank you very much for coming. Richard, thanks for running camera for us. Joshua.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, love us on Facebook.
Yep.
We
Yep.
love you guys. Thank you for letting us into your home every
Yeah.
week. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, let's go run some trains.
All right.
All right, I like that.
All right, thumbnail shot.
Would it be bad if I hold myself?
Which one?
Let's all hold ourselves.
Yeah, there we go.
I love these cars. These are nice. Okay, ready, set, look at camera. One. Okay, we got that.
Great show, everybody.
Let camera one roll for 45. I hope the sound is perfect on this one. I really think there's some adjustments.
I think it'll be just fine. As long as you hit play.
If not, they're used to it.
No, our videos have been coming out pretty good lately.
They are
Trying
actually.
very hard.
Yes. Alright, I'm gonna try to make it from this slow.
I know you should be coming out. I forgot what's in
Did
it.
I die?
You killed yourself. Joshua face planted.
I'm gonna shoot your steam engine pulling that train. I need video.
You gotta get it out of the front.